Well, welcome to Staff Chat. In this series, we are interviewing staff members here at Christian Family Chapel to learn a little bit more about them and a little bit about their journey of coming to CFC. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here for a chat. Today, we are getting to know Tony Anderson, who serves here at Christian Family Chapel as our executive pastor and pastor of counseling. Thanks for joining us, Tony.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to have Tony's also my office neighbor.
Yes.
He's a great neighbor.
Yeah. I hear many things through your wall. So, yes.
Probably lots of laughter, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Excited to get started, get to hear a little bit about your journey arriving here at Christian Family Chapel. So we're going to back up a little bit and we'll start a little early. But when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've looked recently, you know how parents always have these by grade memory books. And I looked back and at some point I wrote astronomer, oceanographer. Mm-hmm. But I think as I got older, it's like, I have no idea how you make a living doing that. So I through high school, whatever, I figured I'd go to college and figure it out. So I had some little interest in business and government, but just settled on law school and college. But growing up, it's like oceanographer and astronomer. I loved going to the planetariums, and I had a telescope, so it was cool. And I grew up during the Apollo missions and everything. So that was fun. Yeah.
So that definitely had an influence on what you're interested in.
Yes, absolutely.
You're also a basketball player, right?
Basketball and baseball in high school. Yeah. Yes, I did play. Didn't have all the talent, wanted to go on, but I went to a small school, tried to walk on, and realized even at a small college, you have to have talent to play. Yes. Yeah.
But
it was fun, yes.
Oh, so much fun. So much fun to play sports.
Yes.
As you're growing up.
Teammates and still fond memories of bus rides and things of that nature, and great wins and crushing defeats and all those things. So it was fun, a lot of fun.
The great wins and crushing defeats. That's awesome.
Right.
Those are great memories.
Absolutely.
That's so fun. Yeah. So growing up, going from oceanographer, astronomer, having those interests there, how or what drove you? Were there key events, key people that then you ended up in ministry? Because there's a little bit of a journey there, because that's not where you started.
No, like I said, I went to law school out of college, and then practiced law for about 28 years. And but I would say probably around 95 or so, got involved in a Bible study fellowship, and at a children's program, and they needed people to lead and teach the children's program, which really went from first grade to high school, and got recruited there and really loved prepping to teach the Word every week. That's sort of where the first desire came. And then my wife, through part of her own personal journey, had gotten exposed to biblical counseling. And in 2006, she says, "Hey, I know what I want for Valentine's Day." And Valentine's Day, as you know, is just another opportunity for husbands to fail. And so I figured if she was going to tell me what she wanted,
you better take advantage of that.
That's, as Bill Winton says, putting the cookies on the bottom shelf. I said, "Sure, what do you want to do?" She goes, "Well, I want to go to this week-long biblical counseling training conference in Lafayette, Indiana." And I go, "Well, that's a strange gift, but that's what you want to do? Sure, you can go." And she goes, No, I want you to go with me." I said, "Indiana in February for a week?" I said, "That's true. When does it start?" He goes, "Well, it's the first Sunday in February." Well, as most of you know, that's Super Bowl Sunday. It's like, Super Bowl Sunday, February? But living with my wife in an understanding way, we went. There was about actually 9 of us from CFC went up there for the first time. And as I was listening to people teach us how you administer to others with the scriptures, saw the scriptures in a way I'd never seen them before as far as personal application to real issues. So that's sort of how we caught the bug, and several of us pursued certification. And about 2007, I came on as an elder, not on staff, and several of the counseling ministry kept growing. They wanted it to, we wanted to become a training center, and so elders prayerfully considered and brought me on as the pastor of counseling, and vocationally started in January of 2013, and it's been a blessing. Haven't missed the practice of law at all. Sometimes we say I miss it twice a month, on the 15th and the 31st, but it's just, as I saw how the Word of God changes lives, it was sort of like, well, I could help finance another shopping center, or I could do this. And I just really had a passion for that, and I really thought that helping people should be done in the local church. And so I'm so grateful that the elders at the time said, we really want to build up our counseling ministry, put in the infrastructure so that many people can get equipped to help others. So that was the journey.
That would be a big transition, going from practicing law, so you're in the corporate world, went to college for that, successful business. Was there any hesitation or struggle for you in taking that step into ministry?
Well, not really. You probably, I could flip the question on you, as you know,
You could.
but I won't. You warned me ahead of time. But it's one of those things that when you're in that job and you have a passion for it, you sort of say, yeah, that's something I want to do. But then there's always an interim period where you make the announcement that you're going, and it's like, oh my goodness, what have I done? Because I've now burned the bridge behind me, so to speak. So sort of that transition period is like, the law firm knew in July, I was starting in January, so you have that 6 months of, what am I doing? Is this, but once I hit the ground here, no looking back. It's a great staff to work with, plenty to do to get started. So there were some lifestyle changes, but it's been a blessing. And since then, Lisa and I have started, we do so many other things now we didn't do before. Like we cook together. I really start to grill and to smoke and stuff like that in the free time. We actually love to camp, and so a lot of fun things. So
Camping, primitive camping, glamping camping?
Probably a hybrid. We always have electricity and water.
Yeah.
And our family group does make fun of us because when we camp, we have the multiple power strips. So we have fans plugged in.
So do you each have your own power strip?
I think we get by with one.
Okay.
We can get by with one.
You can survive on one.
And in the winter, the electric blankets are plugged in, and the blow-up mattresses. At our age, getting up off the ground is hard. So I like the blow-up mattress. So yeah, probably a little toward glamping, but we don't have a shower or bathroom in the tent or anything. So
it's not the whole RV that you're driving up and parking and plugging in.
Right.
Yeah. That's so fun. Well, and that's fun that the Lord has blessed in that transition with the additional family time and
yes.
And a gift to have you leading the biblical counseling ministry, even though I've only been on staff for a couple of years, but having experienced the Hope Center and the impact of seeing on many, many lives, what a gift that the Lord has put that on your heart to then lead that.
And Lisa and I have been blessed because it's something we both do. And I think anyone who can, when they minister with their spouse, it's a great blessing. And just got a great group of volunteers there who sacrifice their time to do it. And it is a hard ministry. You are with people during the hardest of hard, but you get a front row seat to see the Lord work in their lives many times. Sometimes we don't see the end product, and that can be hard and sad. But so I'm really grateful for the men and women who have taken the hard work to get trained. It's not something you show up to do and just do. Probably the fastest you could get trained and certified is a year. And for most of them, it takes 18 months or more. And then they're giving 1-2 hours per person per week to help them. So I'm really grateful, but it's a great team to work with.
Yeah, really, really grateful for them. And so as you work in this area of ministry, but for you personally, how has the Lord grown you personally in the last year? How have you seen the Lord work? In
the last year, I really worked on my contentment. I have to confess that if I have an idol, it may be ease of life or comfort. And sometimes it's like I don't mind working hard. I don't mind being busy, but I look ahead and I think ahead to blocks of times. Okay, that's going to be my time or our time or whatever. And then ministry needs come up and it's like, that time's taken off the books. And it's, I have to realize, the Lord's in control. I could choose to grumble, which is actually grumbling against the Lord since he's sovereign over all circumstances, or just recognize, and this is in our prayer time that Lisa and I have in the morning, we've added this, Lord, when you change our plans today. Not if, when you change our plans today.
Not if, but when.
May we recall that because it's from you, it's better. And so that's how it's really changed my thinking. And just that thought helps you display the fruit of the Spirit of patience, self-control, gentleness, because when people come in your lives, it's a ministry opportunity. So really, I think growing in contentment is something that comes top of mind over the last 12 months.
That's a good one. The Lord is so gracious to grow us in those areas. And so I know
He knows our heart better than I do.
He knows our heart. He certainly does. He certainly does. And another area of ministry that you have that we haven't mentioned is as a grandpa.
Yes, to two wonderful grandchildren. Sloan is 7 and Barrett will be 5 this month.
And you were known as Poppy.
Poppy, yes, we're Red Sox fans, so I got sort of pick it, and since everyone loved David Ortiz and Big Poppy, that's what I picked.
And there's a really fun tradition you do with your grandkids with story time.
Oh, well, yes. So a few years ago on our staff retreat, Doug did a great thing of having us walk outside and literally walk out or act out a story when Jarius came wanting his daughter healed, and then the woman who'd been bleeding came and touched him. And just, when you really start to think, what does this story look like? And you were there, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you would say that was pretty impactful.
It was incredibly
more
impactful.
Insights into the scripture. And so when our grandkids spend the night, we try to have them once a week on Friday nights. We started reading Bible stories. And I go, well, I'm going to try acting this out to give them more of a sense of it. And they love it. They won't go to bed without a story.
That's so fun.
And then what we've transitioned to now is we do it, and then they act it out, and so they play the parts and everything.
Cute.
So, yeah. David and Goliath is a big hit.
Let's say, what's the favorite? David and Goliath.
David and Goliath and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Ooh,
in the fire
good one.
Yeah,
those
are big ones. Yeah.
Do you light something on fire during that?
No, I don't. And I haven't pulled the slingshot out yet either, because I'm pretty sure there would be blood. So, yeah.
Maybe later when they're older.
Maybe later. Yeah.
Well, out of all your time in ministry and also volunteering, because I know you served in middle school ministry many years ago and other areas, but I'm curious, what has been your most embarrassing moment in ministry?
Well, I've tried to make it so that I don't mind people laughing, even at me or with me, if it moves the moment. So, but I guess I would say when I was a new elder, I got the opportunity to actually preach. Doug gave me that opportunity, and the passage I had was Galatians 6, 1-6, and the verse 1 says, "If anyone is caught in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness." And so I'd been working on it, and I over-prepped. I'd never taught a message before. And so I was trying to think of an illustration of, wouldn't you, if someone was in our parking lot and fell down, wouldn't you be willing to help them up? I mean, you wouldn't just walk past them. And I'd been working on this, and literally, I think like 8 or 9 days before I taught, I was a member of the Y, and I'm on the treadmill in the morning, and this is during peak hours, everyone before going to work. And I'm still not sure what happened. A shoelace got stuck in the side of the treadmill.
Oh, no.
So my right leg didn't come forward. So I pitched forward face first, and then I hit the shoulder, and so it turns me, and this treadmill shoots me out the back, head first, face up. Pride comes before a fall. For me, pride came after the fall. Because I was on my feet back on that treadmill and nothing flat, thinking maybe nobody saw that,
Right. No one saw that.
So the Y instructor, "Are you okay? You okay? I'm fine. Go away. Leave me alone." But I just, it's like, okay, Lord, you gave me that. I have to share this story in my first sermon. So the embarrassing moment was used for ministry. And first of all, the laughter, as you can imagine, like you did, definitely made it easier for me to continue. And I think drew a connection. But that is probably the most embarrassing thing that's happened. It's like I was shot out the back like a
like a rocket.
Yes, it's like, and I'm just thinking if I had been next to me, I would have said, "What in the world, dude?"
Did anybody help you up? Oh, you got up so quickly.
I jumped up quickly, but they did come and check on me. The guy next to me was just sort of smiling, shaking his head,
He's like, been there, done that.
Or either that or he's saying, I'm not going to make it any worse for you by pointing it out. So, yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, we all have those experiences.
Yes.
Well, before we wrap up, we have to play a game.
Oh, a game.
We're going to play a game. So we're going to play small, medium, or large today.
Huh.
So the question, you get to pick. Do you want a small, medium, or large question? Small meaning a little bit easier to answer, large being more difficult to answer.
What did Doug pick?
I'm not telling.
I'll go large.
Okay. Well, oftentimes that's where I'll ask your most embarrassing moment, but you already shared that with us. So what's been your most difficult step of faith?
New question. No.
We can do
No, you can tell by the pause that something came to mind quickly. So in 2002, my wife Lisa had they found a large mass, which they thought was ovarian cancer, and so they worked the process real quickly, getting into oncology, surgery, things of that nature. But her OB/GYN was fairly confident that it was what it was, and I did the black hole and looked at things, reading and all the what ifs and everything.
Yeah.
I was in BSF. I was surrounded by good guys and everything, but I do remember coming to the conclusion that that was, Lord, I trust you in this, because that was one of the first times where it's like, I know I cannot do anything. A lot of times there are things that are hard, and it's like, Lord, in your strength, I will do this. But this one, this time, it's like, I can't do anything. I can't, I'm not a doctor. I can't do any diagnosis. I can't do anything. And so, Lord, I'm going to trust you, whether she lives, short time, long time, whether I'm a widower and a father of a 14-year-old, just that step of saying, open hand, I'm going to trust you. And that there was a peace that came from that. Thankfully, the Lord, it turned out to be something benign, and so full recovery, no limitations. But I do remember getting to the point that I will praise you no matter what. And I had not had that before. I had not been in that situation before. So that was what I would say.
And probably an experience that has marked your walk with the Lord. One of those things that you probably draw back.
Absolutely.
To say, I trusted him then.
Yeah.
I can trust him now.
And I try to encourage others with it.
For sure.
There's always they were saying, well, yours turned out all right. And I was saying there was an 8 to 10 day period when I didn't know that.
Right.
He was faithful, and there was healing. And for all I know, through the prayers, what was cancerous became benign. The Lord can do anything He wants, any way He wants. But that was a mark. That was a mark of faith.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing
Sure.
that story. Thanks for sharing all these awesome stories today. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's fun. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad you're here. It's a privilege to serve with you. Thanks for being my neighbor, my office neighbor.
You are a good neighbor. Yes.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to be. Grateful to be here and grateful for your time. And thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
You're welcome. Thank you.